So in early 1980s, a young man in Jeffersonville, Indiana, was presented with a challenge. He inherited his father's tavern, which was struggling and was in deep debt. This young man noticed a broom closet next to the bar. He was struck with an idea. He decided to break down that closet, throw in an investment of $1,600, and install a pizza oven. He started serving fresh handmade pizzas to the patrons. That broom closet, that tavern was the very first Papa John's. That young man was John Snyder, the founder of Papa John. Armed with the passion for quality ingredients and a secret family recipe for the pizza sauce, he started serving delicious pizzas to the patrons and turned the business around. Fast forward 40 years, today in this digital age, we're here to tell you how technology enables better ingredients, better pizza at Papa John's. So my name is Anup Prasad, and I lead the consumer business at Cognizant. Cognizant is a large IT services company that thrives at the confluence of industry and technology. We drive transformation for Global 2000 clients. One of the segments we drive deep transformation in is the food industry. And the reason we need to continue doing that is because of all of you, the consumers. The expectations of consumers when it comes to the experience they expect from the QSRs, from the restaurants, keep going up every year. You'd pick up your phone on a Friday evening, go to a mobile app, and place an order for pizza, select all of the toppings, throw in some jalapeno if you're like me, and you'd expect your pizza to be delivered at your doorstep in 42 and a half minutes. The online commerce volume in this segment has ballooned over the last few years. It's expected to be $170 billion by end of this year. You would walk up to a kiosk at an airport or a restaurant, pick up your Big Mac, fries, and a drink, and you'd expect the order to be ready with minimal human interaction. Wendy's is trying to solve the drive-through problem, working with Google and leveraging Google's AI and Gen AI. You would have seen the stall out there. Solving drive-through and automating that experience is the holy grail in QSR, especially with what has happened since the pandemic, where a lot of demand has shifted to drive-through and the digital channels. And if you watched Elon Musk live stream the Model S FSD version 12 over the weekend, you would know that autonomous vehicles and self-driving cars is going to be a reality very soon. And that's going to transform the last mile experience for the consumers, and it's going to have implications for the restaurants and QSRs as well. To deliver that customer experience and delight the consumers on a day in and day out basis, a well-oiled restaurant needs to have a very well integrated front of house and back of house technology and operations. So a customer can interact across any of the channels, whether it's the web channel, the mobile app, contact center, or directly at the store. And the order needs to seamlessly flow to the heart of the restaurant operations, which is the kitchen. And there's normally a lot happening around the kitchen. You've got the smart kitchen software, menu management, inventory management, labor scheduling for the employee experience, and then the integration in the back room with the online aggregator apps and the driver apps. For all of this to come together in a seamless, integrated fashion, you need near real-time communication and the data fabric. And when we are able to do this for our restaurant clients, for clients like Papa John's, we are able to create meaningful business value. We're able to impact key business metrics, and it is not only about enhancing customer experience, reducing cart abandonment rate, or reducing order cancellation, improving the look-to-book ratio, or reducing your overall CAC, your customer acquisition cost. It is also about driving operational efficiency. And in this business, it's always a delicate dance between pushing the envelope for customer experience while at the same time managing your costs. So reducing your food wastage, reducing delivery costs, optimizing drive times are some of the important imperatives in a restaurant context. In fact, if you look at the customer complaints, two of the areas you receive the most complaints about is the wait times and the order accuracy, and I'm sure many of you have experienced that over time as well. So when we are able to drive a front of house and back of house transformation in the orchestration I talked about, we are able to create meaningful results and outcome in a story like Papa John's. So we've been working with Papa John's for quite some time. We've driven transformation across the store channel, the point of sales, helping create the product master, delivery transformation. In fact, created a new channel called the Papa Call. So if you called your Papa John's neighborhood store a few years back on a Super Bowl Sunday, more than likely your call may not get answered because the store associates were busy serving the patrons inside the store or handling the volume of the order. Realizing the opportunity to capture that lost sales, we actually built the technology platform to centralize all of the calls across the 2,000 store network in Papa John's, drive better customer experience, drive agent experience, in fact, increase revenue per order, and really create a new revenue channel for the business, which was in fact talked about by the Papa John's CEO in one of the earnings release. So we've driven transformation across channels from a store, from a contact center perspective, and the last piece of that transformation, which we recently worked with Papa John's on, is the e-commerce modernization on Google Cloud, which you'll hear a lot about. And let me invite my client here, Yashasvi. Before I do that, here's a quick backstory. So Yashasvi and I have worked together, known each other for 10 plus years, and our journey started in a retail context. And as we were reflecting on that journey and this session, one of the things he mentioned, which was very intriguing and struck home for me, is, you place an order in a retail context on an e-commerce channel, and you expect your product and shipment to arrive in a couple of days, maybe longer. If you pay more, next day or same day delivery. When you place an order in e-commerce context in Papa John's, you expect your pizza with all of the right toppings to arrive at your doorstep in 42 and a half minutes, not 65, not 25, because both of those would be considered failed customer experience. So you have a very narrow window around that expected delivery time where customer delight happens. And to actually deliver that, it almost requires perfection from a technology and operations perspective. So with that, let me invite Yashasvi to talk about how technology delivers that perfection and delivers that customer delight in Papa John's.
Thank you, Anup. Good to see all of you. Today, if there's one thing I would like for all of you to take away is, I appreciate when that pizza delivery driver comes to your door and you eat that pizza. I want you to have a new level of appreciation and understand what it takes to actually do that. Anup covered a little bit of that. But it's a fascinating business. It's a lot of fun. One of our purposes of our company is the world deserves a better pizza, and we deliver it. So that's our purpose. And in this journey, we'll show you how technology plays a big role in actually facilitating that. So just a little bit about the company. We are in, excluding North America, we're in 47 countries. And the list keeps growing in more international countries. Just in Canada and USA, we have like 3,200 restaurants. 75% of our business has moved into digital just in the last few years. And I'll talk about what does it mean. It's not just a website and apps. There's a lot more to it. The other interesting facts are we have launched a whole new set of new products since 2020. We launched a lot of new products, and some of you may have tasted those. To bring all these products to life digitally, it's an interesting problem to solve, and we'll get into that. So, like Anup mentioned, we built a lot of our software ourselves. It's, internal. But over the years, we realized that there's some challenges that we want to overcome to grow the business even more. And one of them is, greater site stability and customer satisfaction. One of the most interesting things is the traffic pattern is very predictable. Friday nights are the busiest nights. Of all the nights, Friday, it used to be that Super Bowl day or Valentine's Day used to be the highest traffic. But now every Friday is like that. So we have, exceeded certain traffic expectations, and now we have to have even more robust customer satisfaction by the basics of having proper stability. Limitations on personalization. So we wanted to do more and more personalization, especially as our loyalty customers are growing. We have over 30 million loyalty customers, so how do you personalize even more for all of them? And we said in 2020, coming into 2020, we said food is the star. So meaning create new innovations and inventions in the food sector. So, for example, we launched something called Papadilla, which is a handheld. Some of you may have tasted it. This April, we launched something called Doritos Cool Ranch Papadilla. It's a partnership with Pepsi, where we use the Doritos product, but also our own pizza, pizza product. So that's a lot of new products that we launched. So to increase the velocity and digitally bring everything together, it's not just the kitchen, but also launching new products. So that's the challenge of menu innovation. And faster front-end website performance was another need we had. And then innovating to open up the ecosystem to innovate more with ML and AI. So we had to build that foundation. And some of the other technology challenges are we wanted more auto-scaling, simplicity of middleware, where we can increase the number of real-time messages. Anup mentioned a little bit of how from the time the order happens to fulfilling of the order, it's a very limited time. There's a lot of real-time events, so having the right platform to accommodate that. And then content publishing. So we, a few months ago, we actually launched video as well on our app, and our website. So really fresh videos which highlight the better ingredients, better pizza messaging, and how it comes to life on our proper digital properties. Great videos of our product. And so how do you enable these new assets to be served up with speed and with consistent user experience? And then finally, the ability to monitor. So as we went into this much broader services-based architecture, how do you monitor that, and alerting and ability for the right groups to take actions? That was a big need as well. So, from a vendor standpoint, we have a mixed environment, but for this particular project, we worked with Cognizant because of their deep expertise with our ecosystem. As Anup mentioned, they've been with us for 11 years, and they helped us build a lot of different systems, so they were perfect for this project. We have, Cognizant has deep expertise in the restaurant industry. They have a great software practice in terms of capabilities and how they can partner with us, understand our requirements, and scale something and build proof of concepts quickly, and using ML and AI. One simple use case was how do you set the expectation? Like, think about it, in a dynamic environment where there's labor capacity, there's the oven capacity itself on how many pizzas can be made. So how do you tell the customer what time they can expect that pizza? So that's an interesting problem to solve, and Cognizant has worked with us to solve problems like that. And then they took a de-risked approach, so we can't eat the whole pie in one shot, so how do you go in slices? So basically doing the appropriate assessment, giving the proper recommendations, and revalidating Google as the platform. We started the Google relationship 5 years ago, but when it came to this e-commerce modernization, they kind of revalidated that with their expertise. So that was then it became the go-to platform. And then also, how do you scale within the Google Cloud itself? Recommending additional solutions and helping us, leverage the full ecosystem of Google Cloud. And then bringing in some Vertex AI and some other cutting-edge technologies as well. So the key solution tenets that were important to us were resiliency and speed to market. I talked about the ability to launch new products. We also have national specials or offers. We have local specials or offers. It's an interesting business where the franchisees can create their own local specials. So in an environment like that, how can you facilitate speed to market? Not only the products, but the related offers. And driving repeat business and increased engagement, creating that differentiated experience for the customers. So for different segments, by creating different offerings in their loyalty segment, and then increasing the conversion. So we enjoy a pretty high conversion compared to a typical retailer, because if somebody's coming to our properties, they do have the intent to eat something, so we just have to tailor that better. Some elements were decouple microservices, cloud native design, highly available services, a service mesh, and automated deployments was a big thing for us, and we emphasized that as a tenet. So from a solution approach, we saw the challenges or the problem statements earlier. Some of the approaches that we took were, building out the cloud-native services, using headless, front-end, micro front-ends, leveraging Google PubSub quite heavily for all our real-time eventing, and business-driven flows in CMS. So we have empowered the content management teams to be able to create their different assets and publish, fast. And then the automated pipeline, CI/CD pipelines, leveraging, all the different checks, all the way from unit tests to, even let's call it the accessibility testing as well. And then finally, machine learning and Vertex AI. We started solving it with the ETA setting, but also we're doing some automated dispatching and solving other interesting problems with Vertex AI. This is a future state architecture, how the upstream systems, everything has to be Papa. So Papa Track is a system that you can track, once you actually place the order, how the order gets to you. Very similar to, the driver approaching your home experience. Some of the other systems that were mentioned earlier, mapping plays a big role, whether it's customer coming to the store, carry out or take out solution, or if it's delivery. So there's a whole B2C platform, but also the aggregators and Papa Call. Just to touch on Papa Call, this is an idea of a centralized call center. And the Cognizant team helped us with that. Before that, individual stores would have to take the phone calls. So imagine the store is already busy, trying to put out as many orders as they can. But then on top of that, they have to take the phone calls of the customers, which, depending on the customer, it can take a long time. So one of the big benefits we got with Papa Call was, centralizing the calls to a central call center, which uses the same platform as all the back-end systems that are used for the website or for the apps. And so it's a common e-commerce platform that serves Papa Call. And now, we're working on even taking that even further with voice AI and other technologies. The other aspect is aggregators. So the philosophy is meet the customer where they are. So whatever the channel of preference, if somebody wants to order through Uber Eats, we are there. If somebody wants to order through Grubhub, we are there as well. So we want to make ourselves available in all of these channels and with a common e-commerce front end. So that's been the journey that the team has been helping us. Then there's a lot of subsystems, the marketing systems, the store system as well, which is our own sort of proprietary system, and then the different gateways. Just to give you an idea. Some of the key benefits that we got out of this was highly scalable architecture that is resilient into the future. We are able to do faster app development and deployment with this foundation. We absolutely got higher availability, system availability. And then separating the front end, the Angular front ends into micro front ends has been a big benefit as well. And then it's ultimately adding agility for us, how our business partners can think of ideas and they can come to life faster. And then containerized deployment architecture from a technical benefit standpoint, resiliency at every level, whether it's a backend or network or UI level, we're able to achieve that. Encryption at rest and in the transport layer. And then auto-scaling. Auto-scaling by different means, whether it's a CPU or memory or threads or other ways, it's been a huge help in terms of accommodating this bursts of traffic. We do get bursts of traffic. It's not a typical retailer where maybe Black Friday is busy or some other. We get day to day or week to week, we can get bursts of traffic. And then the ability to do blue-green or canary deployment. So those are some benefits we gain and we continue to gain. So in terms of the roadmap, we are working on greater amounts of personalization, whether it's loyalty customers or guest customers that we don't know so much about. How can we do greater personalization? I mentioned voice AI earlier. That's actively being worked on. And then, we want to have this flexibility to integrate with any third party, whether it's aggregators or any other technology or solution, just because we want to be in all places. We want to have the ease of integration. And also we want to leverage AutoML, BQML, and Vertex AI, specifically those three tools within the Google Cloud more. And we're looking forward to some additional partnership with Cognizant on that front. And then definitely Gen AI, whether it's content creation, especially in content creation and other, enhancing of the product, digitally. So those were the next roadmap items that we're working on. So with that, I think we can open up for some questions.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Fascinating story. Before we open it up for the audience to ask questions, I was wondering, so when I used to call my neighborhood Papa John store, they would know what sort of pizzas I've ordered in the past, the toppings I like. So how do you intend to sort of drive recommendations on the commerce platform? If I go online, would the engine tell me like I'm missing the banana peppers from my toppings? Because I'm sure there's a lot of margin you make on toppings, right?
Yes, that's a great observation. That is where you can increase the ticket. Definitely increasing the ticket size is a goal. If you notice in our website or in our apps, we already have product level recommendations that we implemented a couple of years ago. We also have this upselling capability where whether it's toppings or even different types of sauces that we have, whether it's like chicken wings or other types of products, we can upsell. But what Anup is touching is on, it's even a higher level of recommendation where you get into the ingredient level or topping level recommendation. So we are currently thinking about this, and it's a interesting problem to solve, which will directly have revenue benefits for us. So we are working on creating what is the right way to solve that problem without being too disruptive in the customer journey. You don't want to turn them off, but at the same time, in a very subtle and in context manner, how do you recommend the right topping? So that is on the roadmap.